Now my journey began. It's graduation time. Family is very important to me, including my puppies. The Marine Corps played a huge role in my life and allowed me to be ambitious, inspiring, a mentor, and achieve all of my goals. As a financial expert, I've received multiple awards, done various events as a guest speaker all over the U.S. with my platform of creating healthy financial habits, along with having my own business, all leading up to my show. Come along for the journey. Hello, gems, and welcome. I am continuing December's theme of showcasing talented and successful business owners. You are 100% going to enjoy today's guest, as she was handpicked and is a true gem herself. Let me add a bit of bling before I introduce you to her. The global jewelry market size was estimated at $300.26 billion in 2019 and is expected to reach $323.98 billion before the end of this year. Online jewelry and watch sales are $7.6 billion in this year alone. Now, what are the top pieces of jewelry that people buy most? It's bracelets is number one, pendant necklaces, initial necklaces, multi-layered necklaces, because we love our necklaces, magnet bracelets, lockets, thin hoop earrings. Women on average are the top buyers of jewelry, whether buying for ourselves or for someone else. Now, let me introduce you to today's guest. She was born in Tennessee. She's a U.S. Army veteran with 23 years of honorable service. She retired as an E8 or first sergeant with the occupation of information technology specialist. Her favorite brand influencer is Alyssa Ashley. If she could partner with any company, would be the crayon case. Her favorite type of jewelry is anything bold. She loves it bold. She currently resides in Virginia, where her business is also located. Welcome, Marianne, to the show. Thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing extremely well. How are you?
I am doing well. Let's get these gems knowing a little bit more about you. Yes. So How did you get started in the jewelry industry?
Well, it was really kind of weird. I actually saw a post in a Facebook group that I'm a member of Beauties and Boots. And let me say this, I was never ever interested in anything direct sales ever.
Right.
I saw this post and it just kind of like got me right in the chest, So I was like, wait, I love jewelry. I could do this. So that's how I kind of got started with it. Just the fact, and it was like, this is something that I can do and it won't feel like it's, a chore, because I enjoy it. And I like to make people laugh, and I like to make people feel good. And personally, I always feel like wonderful when I put my little jewelry on. So I'm like, I could totally do this, but I didn't have, or at least I didn't think I had an ounce of anything entrepreneurial in me at all until I started selling jewelry. So it was kind of a shock, and I was like, oh wait, and I have a knack for this. I have a skill for this. I didn't know. So it was pretty cool. So that's how I got started with it, was just from a post. Social media is powerful. And so that's how I got started with that. I did it for about 2.5 years, I think, with this particular company. But as time went on, I started really thinking more about how I wanted more control over, being able to pick the type of jewelry that I wanted to sell. And I wanted to sell jewelry that really I wanted to focus in more on the type of jewelry that really would speak to our community. So, and I wanted to build a business that was keeping the money or keeping the funds, or whatever you want to say it. I guess I don't want to, in our community instead of sending it out.
Right.
That was going to happen. That's why I picked that phone up. I knew that was going to happen.
So what was your initial startup cost for the first jewelry industry, the industry that you initially started with, the company?
So that particular company, the startup cost for that one was $299, I believe it was. So it wasn't really bad, and it was a good thing, a good starting point for me.
Right.
Because with this particular, when you get into a company like that, you really don't have to do a whole lot other than you sell the product.
Right.
They give you the product, they give you the little blueprint on how to do it. I mean, they set you up with all kinds of different things. So it was, I think it was, if you're going to start doing a business like your own business, and especially if you're somebody like me that never even thought about doing
Right.
it,
Right.
that's a good thing to kind of get
Right.
into, because it's already pretty structured for you. So you can learn a lot, and then you can like make the mistakes. And
Right.
in my mind, you can make the mistakes and it's not quite as devastating. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So yeah, the startup cost for that one, because there's three different ways to get into it, and I
Right.
chose the middle one, so it was $2.99.
Absolutely. And I just want to let my Jibs know that she said a few key points there. You know, sometimes you don't have to start from scratch on your own. Sometimes it's good to be partnered with someone else to kind of get, you know, the knowledge, like you said, make those mistakes, and it's not so heavy on you because it's not your brand yet. You're just a representative. So definitely that's a good way to learn any type of trade in any type of industry that you want to be in before kind of jumping off and doing your own thing. So you eventually branched off to do your own business and branch off. So why did you decide to leave the company? You hinted on it before. And what really motivated you to do that?
The main thing that really motivated me to do that was I wanted to pick my own jewelry. I wanted to um, focus on jewelry, like I said a few minutes ago, that was really geared towards our community. I have jewelry for everyone, but
Right.
a lot of the jewelry that I pick, that I have in the store, is that like the stuff that you see me wearing now. It's like, this is the kind of thing that you'll see so many of us, no matter what our age, will be wearing something like this. Like this bracelet right here. This is like my mom's favorite thing to wear.
That's nice. That's
And she,
beautiful.
thank you. And she's 68 years old. So I wanted to be able to get pieces that speak to our oomph and our swag, because we got a
Right.
swag. We
We
got a certain
do.
swag about us no matter what we do. I mean, if we got on a t-shirt or whatever, there's, we have stepped into the room. And I
Absolutely.
wanted jewelry that would accentuate that. So that's why I decided to branch off and just start doing my own thing. But at the same time, I wanted to have products that were not crazy expensive, so
Right.
that anybody could purchase the jewelry and take an outfit, whether you got it at like Macy's or you got it at Rue 21, and make it look
Right.
like you just stepped off a runway.
Absolutely. So, being able to create your own brand, having more say so in the jewelry selections, and
Yes.
removing the middleman, because you no longer, when you're not a partnership, you're going directly to the vendors and the manufacturers that you want to speak to and the ones that you actually want to work with. Um, that was definitely a success and definitely really good for you to do that as well. But tell us, so how did you come up with the name, the Bling Store? So now you're out there on your own. You said, I can do it. And okay, the world, here I come. And then boom, how did you come up with this very, very signature and memorable name?
Well, I originally started out with, because my nephews call me Auntie Mary. So
Hmm.
the business really started when I was with the company. It was Auntie Mary's Blings and Things. And then over time, I just started shortening it to just say the Bling Store. And I was like,
Like it.
I really like that. So I took that and I was like, I just took everything and just started calling it the Bling Store. And when I do my lives on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, it's called the Bling Show. So I try to
Ah,
tie them all together. So I just went with that and made sure that I got my logo and everything. So everything, and I wish you could kind of see my shirt. Everything I have says the Bling Store. So
right,
it was just shortened from the original nice long cutesy name. And I was like, I don't really want cutesy.
right.
I'm trying to brand myself. I want it to be where, if that flashes across your screen, that's me. I'm
Right.
coming up on your phone or whatever. That's me, and I got some bling for you. I got something for you.
I
Come pick
like
it up.
it. I like it because, when I was doing your intro and I said, she likes bold jewelry pieces, and you picked a name that's bold, the Blingz. You can't say that and not smile and not expect to see some type of sparkles or anything with it. So definitely creating the brand that speaks for itself. So when you see it, you actually know this is what she's doing. When did you open? So you've got everything in place. And then when did you actually launch the Bling store?
So the official launch
Right.
of the Bling store was when I was with the other company, actually. So that's been about, I switched over to calling it the Bling store about a year ago.
Okay.
Now the launch with the new inventory
Right.
that I have, my line, if you will, that kicked off in October, the beginning of October.
Awesome. I love it. So how did you find your initial jewelry? So the vendors, so before you had someone else picking out the jewelry for you and saying, this is what we want you to sell to your customers, but now everything is switched. So how did you say, hey, you know what? How am I going to bring the best pieces to my customers? So how did you find those? The manufacturers, the vendors, walk us through that.
Listen, Google is your best friend.
Yes.
You can find anything that you're looking for on Google. And so that's what I did. I just started Googling wholesale jewelry and fashion accessories vendors. My go-to is a site called Alibaba.com. And I like that one because there are thousands of vendors on there and there's so much that you can choose from. And if I have, a certain type of jewelry or a certain piece that I'm looking for, with that particular site, I have the ability to just search it by just a picture. So I don't even really need a name of it. I just need to show them, hey, this is what I'm looking for. So that's one of my go-tos. I do get a lot of stuff from India.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually speaking with a couple of vendors in Africa right now because I'm looking, I'm getting ready for February. I'm trying to make sure I'm ready. So I'm looking for certain types of pieces, and I'm trying to expand the inventory to just not just have just the gold and silver, although I love gold and silver, don't get me wrong, but I want more color and different types of materials are more natural materials and things like that. So yeah. And then again, and I meant to hit that, I'm so glad you went back to it, is like that other reason why I branched off on my own was like, I want to take out the middleman. So this is the best way for me to contact to get rid of the middleman and go straight to them.
Absolutely. And I know you had mentioned before in our other past conversations, you were working with other vendors in China and South Korea. You're still working with those as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. So James, I want you to know she's just not picking from one particular vendor. You may have your favorites, but sometimes you need to branch out. Just specifically speaking, in the pandemic, you may have one country or one manufacturer that their shipping may be a bit low. But if you have expanded your business and you have 4, 3, or 5 other vendors, you can keep that steady flow going. So making sure that you touch on just a wide variety of vendors, as she has shown. So kudos for doing that. So I know you mentioned before that you had transitions from the initial business and now into yours. How did you navigate the closing down of the first jewelry partnership and then opening up your business? Because it was definitely a partnership, and I want them to get this, because what you did was the ability to take what you have, market it, and then keep that clientele literally moving and flowing with you. They're like, Marianne, let's go. And you kept them with you. So tell us about that process.
Yes. So when I did finally make the decision that, yes, I'm going to do this, before I actually officially did it, officially, I started talking to my customers. I started talking to my clientele, and I would send them pictures. Now they didn't know this, but I was sending them pictures of stuff that I already had. So I just
there you go.
Because I started let me get this, let me get that, and let me just, just put some feelers out there before I just step off into this. And I got really good feedback with it and everything. So it was really cool. So that let me know, okay, we can do this. So after I, tested the market, if you will, I went ahead and was like, okay, I don't want to, I need to liquidate the stock that I have. And I need to purchase new inventory that's the new line that I want to
Right.
sell. So what I did was I I reached out to some groups that I'm a part of, and I
Right.
just said, hey, I'm doing a liquidation sale, and this is my website, and this is where you can go, and this is, if you buy, and I was giving free shipping for all orders over $25.
Uh-huh.
And the first post that I did, my husband was so mad at me. We cleared about $3,000 that weekend. So
Nice.
then I took that money, and that's what I used to invest in the new line to get the new
To start with.
line and the new inventory. So that way I didn't have to touch any of my personal
Right.
money to do it.
So that's good. Always using what you have. I always tell people as business owners, you don't always have to take out loans or find other ways. If you use exactly what you have and use those resources, you can then reinvest it exactly what you did. She had made a profit going out of sale, and everyone was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. She created the want for these pieces before the sale. They wanted it, and to the tune of 3,000 pieces, excuse me, $3,000, she reinvested it into the business she has now. And then you started with the bulk inventory because you had to get that up and going. You had the money, and people were like, "We want more, we want more." So we had to give them more. So tell us how the bulk industry going, specifically with jewelry, so people know how this works.
So, specifically with jewelry, especially when you're getting the
Right.
jewelry from overseas vendors, you're going to have to buy it in bulk or something that they call an MOQ.
Right. Okay.
Some of them have a really high MOQ, like 500 pieces.
Right.
Some of them will have three, some of them will have 12. I tried to stay in the 12 to 20 range of the
Mhm.
bulk pieces. And then when I get that, you get those pieces, you're actually saving. You're
Right.
saving some money when you buy like a whole bunch of. So if you're just buying for yourself, that's not where you want to go to buy
No.
your own jewelry. But if you're trying to sell it, and so you get it in bulk, and then when you get it, you're getting it at a really good price. And then when you're pricing your items
Right.
to sell to your customers, now I paid this much for it. This is what I paid for shipping. This is
Right.
going to be my retail price. So
Absolutely.
the cost of, I think there was one particular item right off the top of my head that I got. I got 12 of them, and the total cost to me, including shipping, was $100.
I
So
love
now I can divide that,
Right.
by piece, by the shipping and how much the piece costs, and now I know what my sale price is to my retail price is to my customers.
Absolutely. So knowing your retail prices, knowing how much you want to stay fairly budget friendly to everyone that you have. So always keeping that in mind. 12 pieces may not sound like a lot, but if you have 12 customers or 5 customers that buy it all up, that goes pretty quick, and then you can reinvest in something else. It also keeps your stock flowing. So when she gets that particular pieces or those pieces in, and they're gone, they're gone. And then she gets something else. So if you saw it, guys, you better pick it up then. Don't wait and say, hey, I saw this like 2 weeks ago. It's like you saw it and it's gone. You had to see it on somebody else because I
Yeah,
ordered something
one
else.
thing I do. That is one thing I do. It's like once it's gone, it's gone. I
It's
don't
gone.
repeat it. If the only way I'll repeat it is if I get a lot of people saying,
Right.
hey, are you going to bring those back? Case in point is this ear collar.
Oh, nice. I do like
So
that.
this ear collar, now I had 15 of these. There were 15 of these.
Nice.
But this one, the cost to me, to get the piece, to purchase it and get the piece here, I made, and I'm not going to put all my business out there, but I made a good sized profit off of this piece because it's a butterfly piece, and your ears don't have to be pierced to wear this piece.
Okay.
It's a clip on.
It's a clip on. How much do those sell for? Like, if because now you showed it off, people are gonna want it. So
This one is $10.
okay, that's
$10.
definitely reasonable.
And one thing I wanted to mention, I hope I'm not jumping ahead too
That's
far, but one
okay.
thing I wanted to mention to anybody that's thinking about getting into this business, no, you know what? I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna say thought about something. I just glanced at the notes. I was like, pump your brakes, sis. You're running
That's
ahead.
all right. So where do you market your jewelry to the most? How do you kind of get your name, the brand out there?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, word of mouth,
Right.
vendor events when the outside
Yep.
opens.
When
Right now, the outside's
we
not
open
open.
back up.
But when I can go outside again, that's what I do. And I run Google ads. So I
Nice.
talk to, and there's other ladies that I have maintained my personal relationships with them, with
Right.
the other business, and we talk constantly. And my website, I get a lot of traffic, on my website. There's something, my phone is dinging every day because somebody came
Yeah.
across it, because I run Google ads. So, and that's something that I try to keep in my budget when I'm talking about, okay, this is what I want to do for the store at this time. And that's one of the things I have in there is like marketing. So
Right.
social media is free marketing,
Right.
but Google is reaching everybody.
Right.
So, and that's one of the ones I can honestly say that is Facebook ads and Google marketing. Google ads are really, really paying off. And I've seen quite a uptick.
Nice.
Actually, since this pandemic started, honestly.
Absolutely, because more people are buying online.
Yeah.
Right. They're buying online, and Google ads is definitely one of those things because people get them, they see it in their feed. And as you know, with anything, once you click on it, it's stuck. I swear Google has you. If
Yeah, they got
jewelry, you got jewelry for the next 30 days or 6 months. It's just going to stay, which works for, business owners such as yourself. And it also keeps everybody into the know with what you're doing. So if they bought a piece, it's like you also created your own newsletter without creating it, because now they're following you and you're pushing out your new inventory as well.
Yes.
So kudos for that, because I don't hear a lot of people using the Google ads and Google marketing. So it's good to hear that it's actually working for a successful entrepreneur as yourself. So what are some ways that set you apart from other jewelry businesses? Because there's a ton of them out there, a ton of them. So what kind of sets you apart?
Well, one thing that I believe sets the Bling store apart from everyone else is I am determined to make it budget friendly, because I am very aware that there's a pandemic going on.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that people don't want to feel good. My mom calls them happies. You give people happy, or you get your own happy. So my goal has always been to have the pieces, whatever they are, purses, head wraps, whatever they are, so that it would be budget friendly, so you could get it and not feel guilty about buying it.
Right.
So like, the most expensive thing that I have in the store right now is going to cost you $35, and that's a purse. And it's what I call a big old bougie purse.
Right.
You know the kind of purses you carry like this.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of those.
Yes.
So that's my whole thing, was to keep it budget friendly. One of the things that I do, and my customers love this, if they're out and they see somebody with a piece on, some earrings or something, if they can get close to them,
right,
I'm like, don't be creepy, y'all.
Somebody else
they can
out.
get close to them and snap a picture. They can send me that picture, and I'll be like, okay, and I'm on the hunt. And most of the time I can find it and I can get it to them. I can get it for my customers. So I try to make it where it's like all my customers are all of you are my friends. And if you're telling me that you want this, then I'm going to do everything in my power to get it for you. So I try to make it to where I'm trying to make sure that I've built a relationship with each person that makes a purchase from me.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One of the other things I would also say to anybody that's thinking about getting into selling fashion accessories, because you're right, there are so many different people that are selling it. You study it, study the market, study what you're doing. I'll be honest, when I was coming up with what am I going to put in this store, I was watching stuff like Love and Hip Hop New York. I'm looking at all of that stuff because I want to see what people are wearing. I know what they're wearing in my area, but what are they wearing in Atlanta? What are you wearing in New York? How about Miami? What's going on there? What about Los Angeles? So you do your research and you keep up with it. You check the fashion blogs and just watch the people around you and just be like, oh, okay, that's cute. I like that. And listen, I'm forever with this phone. I'll snap a picture. I mean, I won't keep people's face. I'll snap a minute. Because I'll see something. I'm like, oh, that's fabulous. I need that. I need that. So
I love it. So Jim, I want to hit on just a few things that she does for her customer service. So you have that with her. And let me tell you something, you don't have that with a lot of people, to be able to say, here, I saw this. Can you find it? Because a lot of people already have their inventory and they're not trying to go out of their way to find something specifically for you. She's doing that for you. So like she said, if you snap something, see something, hey, Marianne, can you find it? She is good at finding that from you. Let me tell you, you need this in your life, because if she's anything like me, I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. Now, I didn't know there was someone to go to who can actually do that research for you, because this is what she does. She researches, she's watching TV, she's watching other people, she's taking photos. So just know that she's doing this on your behalf to bring you the best and the most exclusive styles and pieces to keep up with the trends, to keep up with everything that's hot in the market. So she's definitely on the cutting edge with that. So speaking of the cutting edge and people taking pictures and photos of everything, in the near future, how do you see your business growing?
Well, if everything holds true from what I've been seeing since October, our projected sales are like going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
They're going to be phenomenal. It's a definite uptick. I have a full-time 9 to 5.
Right.
I don't get much sleep because
I know.
I do my job and then I come to my job. So that's good. I'm not complaining.
Oh, absolutely.
But if it, the Lord willing, the good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as the old folks say, if we keep this up, we're looking to do very, very well. I don't even know if I want to put that number out there, but it's like,
you got to put it in the universe and speak it into existence.
We're looking at projected 6-month sales are close to 80,000, which is awesome. Really, really awesome. I wish you could see. I'm surrounded by it right now. Right. So we're getting to the point where I'm moving it as fast as I'm getting it in.
Yes.
Which means I'm trying to get more in, because the one thing I don't want to do is run out. I don't want to run out. So I want it to always be like, you can do that. But it's looking to grow even more, which is awesome. One day I'll be able to fire my 9 to 5.
Yes, that's the objective.
I'm looking to branch out too, as well. I've already started talking to, because I want to branch out and have, what do they call those? I just lost it.
Explain it? Are they like a brand ambassador or?
Yes, like a brand ambassador, but they have like this code. I just lost it that fast. What is that called? But like a brand ambassador code, for the store.
Yes.
Where, they, and I'm talking to some makeup artists already.
Nice.
To where, because YouTube, social media, all that's a thing. That's
yes.
They're already, they have a following. They are already, they're in the beauty industry, which right. That's what jewelry is part of. It's part of the beauty industry. So right. I'm looking forward to partner with a couple of them, and so that they can, while they're doing their videos and showing you these styles and checking out these different makeup brands or whatever, and then they get all finished and they look like this.
Yeah.
They say, hey, I got my accessories from the Bling store.
And then they can use your code.
Yes, and to use that. And I almost had it again. And I just
and it just keeps going. We'll get it. When you get it, no worries. We'll make sure we get it out to them. Yes. So it happens. It happens.
It drives me crazy because it's like, oh, you gotta be quicker than that. And I'm like,
you gotta be quicker. I love that commercial.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to reiterate just a few things. She's using what's already out there. Sometimes as entrepreneurs and business owners, we think we have to recreate the wheel. You don't. She's going to people who already have the following, your makeup artists, your stylists, anybody that's already have the bling, as she says already. Now she's accessorizing. So they're getting 2 for the price of 1. They're getting maybe a makeup tutorial, and then they can ask, ooh, what's that? What's that ring that she has? What's the earrings? What's the necklace? What was that she had on her hand? So she's using those partnerships and to better, influence her people, as well as drive traffic to their specific market as well as her. So it's a dual purpose, especially when you're working with other people and building those accountability partnerships. So another great thing. So as always, I always love to ask my guests to give us an inspirational quote. So something that keeps you going every day. Maybe it's something that you just like, this is it. I love it. This is who I am and what keeps me going. So please share one inspirational quote with us today.
Now, this one was a tough one because I have at least three things that I repeat to myself all the
Yes.
time. But when I was thinking about what would I want to say to someone that is, watching this, what do I want to say to them if they're thinking about doing something like this? And I'm like, do it afraid. You
Yes.
don't, you're never going to know
Right.
every step that's in front of you. Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Do it afraid. Do it. I can't tell you how many times I've done something afraid. Like, I don't know how this is going to
Right.
work. Just paint Google ads. I'm getting the Google ads and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but you do it
Right.
afraid anyway. You got to take the chance. And I love how a lot of people say you got to shoot your shot. Shoot it.
Mhm.
Do it afraid.
Do it
That,
afraid.
if that would be hands down the one thing I would always say. Do
No,
it.
I love that. That is a great inspirational quote because when you step out of your comfort zone and you do something new, it is new.
Mhm.
We weren't born entrepreneurs. We weren't born into something. And all of a sudden it's new. It's frightening. You don't even know if it's going to work. Is your investment going to work? Are people going to like me? Why are they not going to, all of these things. But when you step out with courage and bravery and you're still afraid and you keep going and you follow your passion, success and reward will follow you. So
Yes.
absolutely, I love that inspirational quote.
Yes.
So remember, Gems, buy, share, enjoy all of these products. We'll make sure that all of her things get out to you because she's definitely going to make you bling, not only for this year, but years to come. So she is the bling lady to go to. Marianne, thank you so much for coming on the show. I definitely appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
It was. Okay, Gems, creating healthy financial habits is a lifelong commitment. Remember, without change, there be no butterflies. You all know that's one of my favorite quotes. I love butterflies because when I see a butterfly, I knew a metamorphosis took place. Some type of change took place. Changing habits, changing lives, and changing futures are all up to you. Until next time, Gems, take care and we'll see you later.